Breaking news, everybody. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died on Friday due to complication of metastatic pancreas cancer, the court announced. She passed away at the age of 87. This, of course, couldn't happen at a worse time. Although I do believe, it's she was an older, it's to be expected, all that stuff. So close to an election, in between such a divisive situation. It's just this really, I can see maybe this causing some issues, maybe this getting some more people riled up if they decide that they're going to try to appoint a judge due to the fact of what they did to Obama. And I see that potentially in the future we could have some issues in regards to this particular situation. So I'm a little concerned as it pertains to how this is going to affect the emotional well-being of the people on the left and the people who have been paying close attention to this particular situation with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I know the over boisterous young lady over at the Young Turks, what's her name, Anna Kasparian, was dreading this, so I'm gonna have to check out to see how she reacts. She's probably going crazy. I think we do need to take a time and respect Mrs. Ginsburg for her service to the country. She may not have always stood on the same side. However, as far as I can tell and as far as I know, she held her office with, a sustained level of respect, and she seems to have been respected by a lot of the country. So let's go ahead and read before we go through here. I have a couple of news articles brought up, but I brought up CNN just so in case I have any liberals watching, they can, know that the information is factual compared to other news organizations. But we'll go through a couple of different articles. Ginsburg was appointed in 1993 by President Bill Clinton, and in recent years served as the most senior member of the court's liberal wing, consistently delivering progressive votes on the most divisive social issues of the day, including abortion rights, same-sex marriage, voting rights, immigration, healthcare, and affirmative action. So that's true. She's been serving for now quite a long time, 27 years looks like. So she spent the majority of her time on the bench. Along the way, she developed the rock star type status and was dubbed the notorious RPG. In speaking events across the country before liberal audiences, she was greeted with standing ovations as she spoke about her view of the law, her famed exercise routine, and her often fiery dissents. That's cool. She's got a pretty cool name. Our nation has just lost a jurist of historic stature, said Chief Justice John Roberts. We at the Supreme Court have lost a cherished colleague. Today we mourn, but with confidence the future generations will remember Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg as we knew her, a tireless and resolute champion of justice. Ginsburg died surrounded by her family at her home in Washington, D.C., the court said. A private interment service will be held at Arlington National Cemetery. She does deserve full honors, guys. She served our country. Some of us in a way of, let's outside of her ruling, let's take a look at a person. She was an older woman. She was fiery. She was, I not the same type of caliber of old fiery old lady woman like Pelosi over there. This woman deserves a lot of respect in terms of what happened. Even though Pelosi, I know a lot of people say, I mean, geez, I have a lot of disdain for that young older woman because of her actions, but was somebody who really was appointed as just part of everyday delivering verdicts that are going to affect and judgments that are going to affect everybody for years on end. I have to have respect for what she did for our country and how she ruled, whether or not I agreed with her politics or whether or not I agreed with her, period. I liked her as a person. She seemed very cute, very funny, even though she was, a liberal judge. I have respect for her. Ginsburg had suffered from 5 bouts of cancer, most recently a recurrence in 2020 when a biopsy revealed lesions on her liver. In a statement, she said that chemotherapy was yielding positive results, and that she was able to maintain an active daily routine. I have often said I would remain a member of the court as long as I could and can do the job full steam, she said in a statement in July 2020. I remain fully able to do that. Gosh, just up to a couple months ago, she was, she's a fighter. That's tough, guys. She up to the end, she went out fighting. So, I don't want to say that she lost her battle, but she it was the time. I've actually adopted that stance of not saying people lost their battle to cancer. It doesn't matter if you say, it doesn't bother me. You say if they do, they lost their battle to cancer. But I do think mentally when you say they lost their battle, you kind of say that they were beat, and I don't want to say it in a sense like that. I don't want to say that it was, because some of the odds are insurmountable, but she did die of cancer, and unfortunately it was the cancer that seemed to have done the job. She told an audience in 2019 that she liked very much to keep busy even when she was fighting cancer. It's a good thing. Let's go down a little bit more. Tiny in stature. Yeah, she was a tiny woman. She could write opinions that roared disapproval when she thought the majority had gone astray. Before the election of President Donald Trump, Ginsburg told CNN that he is a faker. Of course, they have to add it. And noted that he had gotten away with not turning over his tax returns. She later said she regretted making the comments, and Trump suggested she should recuse herself in cases concerning him. She never did. Those are the types of situations when spoke a little too soon. Maybe she shouldn't have spoke too soon. But again, you can critique her work. She was still a good woman. In 2011, by contrast, President Barack Obama singled out Ginsburg at a White House ceremony. She's one of my favorites, he said. I've got a soft spot for Justice Ginsburg. I'm so tired of Barack Obama. Jesus Christ. Let's see. The vacancy gives Trump the opportunity to first solidify a conservative majority on the court and fill the seat of a woman who broke through the glass ceiling at the time when a few women attended law school with a different justice who could steer the court to the right on social issues. I mean, I think that's going to be part of it. In the future, if a liberal judge ever has the ability to appoint liberal judge, it's just very unfortunate that the Obama situation, we could revisit all, the whole works, but I'm done beating that dead horse. It happened. If it happens to the Republicans, and so be it. I mean, you get what you give, both sides. I'm tired of a lot of people thinking that, we like to give the Republicans a slide. We don't. They get what that's why we hold our representatives accountable, because we don't want them to go as low as the Democrats, because even given that we probably know that the other side's going to go that low, we can at least say that, it's a one-sided thing. Whether or not that's smart politics, we can talk about that. Let's continue reading. At the Supreme Court, she was perhaps best known for the opinion she wrote in the United States versus Virginia, a decision that held that all male admissions policy at the state-funded Virginia Military Institute was unconstitutional for its ban on women applicants. The whole thing for banning women and stuff like that, I don't care. I just don't see the problem where some areas would want to be strictly male and some areas want to be strictly male. I think there's some, but of course, anything that ever happens, something like that, there will be people there to challenge. So of course, I mean, I don't know what the whole thing would be unless men start trying to get into women only things, which is happening, by the way. But they're just calling themselves women. So I guess, I don't know. The constitutional violation in this case is the categorical exclusion of women from an extraordinary educational opportunity afforded men, she wrote in 1996. Ginsburg faced discrimination herself when she graduated from law school in 1959 and could not find a clerkship. Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, if she was good, she should have been good. I know the 70s and the 80s were a different time, so it seems like she stuck to it, put her nose to the grindstone, and, oh, well, it seems like she did what she could. After the retirement, we're going to go ahead and just go through some of this stuff. After the retirement of Justice John Paul Stevens, Ginsburg was the most senior of her liberal colleagues, and she had the power to assign options when the Chief Justice was on the other side. She assigned herself an angry dissent when the court struck down a key provision on the Voting Rights Act of 2013. The sad irony of today's decision lies in its utter failure to grasp why the VRA has proven effective, she wrote. She compared the racial discrimination to a vile infection and said earlier attempts to protect against it were like battling the Hydra. Some pretty cool writing. Looks like she that's some of the cool stuff, I don't take it so boisterously, or I don't take some of her stuff, Ginsburg puzzled some liberals with her criticisms of the 1973 decision of Roe v. Wade that legalized abortion, a case that was decided well before she took the bench. Although she said she felt like the result was right, she thought the Supreme Court should have limited itself to the Texas statute at hand instead of issuing a sweeping decision that created a target for opponents of abortion rights. Well, there you go. So, it's not, she supports it, but I'm telling you, any little, you need to 100% be on board, because even if you're like, well, I agree with 95% of it, I just don't like, they seriously will go after you, so that's how it is. Friendship with Scalia, let me see. So Anthony Scalia was a divisive character in terms of people just didn't, like him too much. There are other people on the bench that have been that way, but we kind of go neither here nor there. The last two I would remember being were Justice Gorsuch and, of course, what was his other name? I forgot the other guy's name. The one that... I forgot him. Wow. Poor guy. I forgot the guy. Right now we're talking about Ginsburg anyways. So that was her thing here. So let's go ahead and finish off the last few pieces of information of just overall what she was about. She was a lifelong opera fan who appeared on stage in 2016 at the Kennedy Center for a non-speaking role in the Washington National Opera's The Daughter of the Regiment. At speaking events, she often lamented the fact that while she dreamed of being a great opera diva, she had been born with a limited range of a sparrow. Her relationship with Scalia inspired Derek Wang to compose a comic opera he titled Scalia Ginsburg that was based on opinions penned by the two judges. That's pretty cool. I gotta listen to that. Ginsburg suffered 2 bouts of cancer in 1999 and 2009 and received a stent implant in her heart, but never missed a day of oral arguments. Come on, guys. Work ethic. She was married to Martin Ginsburg, a noted tax attorney for more than 50 years until his death in 2010. They had 2 children. I would just like people to think of me as a judge who did the best she could with whatever limited talent I had, Ginsburg said at an event in University of California Hastings College of Law in 2011. To keep our country true to what makes it a great nation and to make things a little better than they might have been if I hadn't been there. A moment of silence. Hopefully we give this woman her honors. She did provide a service to our country. She deserves those honors. Rest in peace, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We may not have always fell on the same sides, but you were a respectable person. You were a respectable judge, and the world is sadder for you being gone. And this is not something that I would have wanted to have happened. So I hope your family's okay, and I hope everybody's okay. We'll continue covering. The fight isn't over. Hopefully they don't politicize her death too much, and we're able to give her the due respect, because I have a feeling this is going to politicize a little further into the future, given if anything happens. If Trump doesn't say the right thing, or if, let's see how it goes, guys. Well, that's it for now. We have a couple of other, just basic information here from Brooklyn to the bench. I just wanted to show that there are a couple of different options, and it's widely being already disseminated that she has passed away at the age of 87. And I just wanted you guys to see that I am being diligent in getting the information and making sure that I'm passing the correct information on to you. Well, that's it for this one, guys. Until the next one, please be safe. Hold your older family members, those that are suffering of cancer, and just make sure that you tell them you love them. Until the next one, guys, be safe wherever you are. Until the next one, guys, be safe wherever you are, whatever you do. Bye bye.